everyone, it's Krista here with Outgrowing, and as promised, well, here's my cat. He's got to be into everything. Oh, okay, down, buddy. Okay, so as promised, I want to do the top cut flowers of 2024, and then the top fails of 2024. And I was trying to think, like, what should I do first? And I think we'll start on the high note first. We'll start with that, and then I'll do another video next week of the top fails of 2024. Because let me tell you, there was plenty of them. But we're gonna start off. I have my trusty books because I was just like looking through a few of these, just like I wanted to look up what some diseases were and things like that, because I did have some of that going on this year too, but that doesn't really pertain so much to our top cut flowers. So I'm going to start with number 5 and work my way down. And then I'm doing number 5, or 5 of them, sorry. I had a lot of really great cut flowers this year, but these are going to be my top 5s that, like, they held me through the summer big time. And then I have some of my pleasant surprises that I don't want to forget that one. That were, those are some of the good ones too. But I just want to start with the top 5 flowers that really saved my booty. And obviously they are tried and true, and these are amazing cut flowers for everyone. These are all on everybody's list. So I know that this is not going to come as any surprise to you, but sometimes, like, you'll have a season where you get like lots of, pests and disease and things like that. So some of the flowers that you think are going to be amazing, they just don't turn out because they get taken out by some pests. And that is the case with some of these as well. But we'll start. I don't want to make this video too crazy long, but I want to get into detail about what was happening in the flower farm. Excuse us. We're trying to do a little video, my guy. Is this necessary? Anyways, back to the top cut flowers of 2024. Okay, anyways, back to the top cut flowers. So my number 5 cut flower this year was Cosmos. And the only reason that they are number 5 is that I wish that I had more. But they really truly saved my bacon, the ones that I did have, because they were prolific. They bloomed a lot. They had decent stems. I like my bouquets to look a little bit more wildflower-y. I don't know how to put that, but I like them to look a little bit more have that like organic kind of feel to them. And so I find if I use too many like this, I bought these flowers and it's just like, I like them, but it's just like not my favorite because I picked these flowers. The selection wasn't that great. I love these Alstromerias and whatever. There's like other ones in here, but it's just like, it's too perfect for me. So, but I like them to look like more whimsical and whatever. So Cosmos really help to add that in there. They're a big bloom and they can add that kind of whimsical, like, kind of wildflower, organic kind of vibe to a bouquet very easily. You can add like 3 of them and all of a sudden you have gone from like this really, kind of traditional style bouquet to something that's just that it came from somebody's cut flower. So I really love Cosmos for that. So I wish I had more of the apricot ones. I think they're called apricot or apricot, whatever. They're the peachy colored ones. The very first year that I grew them, I honestly was like, wow, they just look dirty. And then last year, or this past summer, I grew more because I was like, man, if they grow nicely, like that color could be beautiful. Well, sure enough, I grew like 5 plants of them because I just used seed, I think, from a previous year. And they were so gorgeous, and that I wish I'd had more. But I did use up some seed that I had, some of these bicolor double click ones. I had some, and then the ones that I really planted intentionally were you guys, my brain is just, I don't know, I think I might be getting a little bit of a head cold or something. They are the cupcake ones. And they are so delicate and so beautiful. They have such a unique look to them. So I did the blush and then I did the white ones. And then I had a couple of the double click white, no, pom pom maybe. They were the white ones that just, or maybe they're snowball or something. Had a few of those in there. And then there was, can't quite remember the other. I had like one random plant that had these beautiful red, deep pink, burgundy kind of colors. I was like, whoa, but I only had one plant of that and it didn't grow super tall. So I don't know what was up with that. But anyways, I wish I'd had more. I wish I had a greater variety. So I am for sure going to be adding more of those to my list of seeds to get. I still have some seeds left over. This is my flower bucket. So number 5 was Cosmos. They were great. I just wish I had had more. Oh, and then the one thing I did get was thripe. I called them thripe and then somebody corrected me and said they're thrips. And then I've heard other people call them thripe. So I don't know, but those are tiny, tiny little bugs. They can decimate your crop. They can really discolor the petals on flowers. But anyways, after the night started to get cooler, I noticed they weren't so abundant anymore, so I don't know much about them, but they must have like a season. So anyways, the Cosmos were affected at the very beginning of their growing season, but then they kind of outgrew them. So great. Then they really helped me at the end of the season, which was amazing when I needed them. Okay, so number 4, that's enough about the Cosmos. They're amazing. I love them. I've always loved them, so excuse me. Okay, number 4 is Status. So Status is always it's always a fan favorite and it's always a cut flower grower favorite. I grew tons of it. I don't even know how many plants of it I had, but I mean, like, when you think of a Status plant, it grows however many stems. I would say you could probably get, I don't know, like, you can continually cut stems off them. Now, mind you, they do kind of turn out a little bit, I think they get a little shorter or whatever as the season grows on. But like, I had Status all year. But I also, and it was amazing and I loved it. And I grew this peach color one. What I had going on. Secret Blue. Forever Happy. Apricot Beauty is that one. Anyways, that was gorgeous. And it was awesome. So anyways, I planted all this Status and then all of a sudden I started to notice that some of my plants had disease. And that's what I was trying to look up exactly what it was called so I could tell you guys. But anyhow, so then I ended up having to like pull out because I didn't want the disease infected plants to affect the healthy ones. So here I am just like, whew, whew, whew. So what was happening is the base was turning like rusty red color and I forget what that's called. I will research that and put it in the video though. And so the base of it was getting all rusty and red and yellowy and discolored. And then consequently, as soon as it shoots up a stem, which it hardly does at that point, then that is, and I don't, maybe it's called rust or botrytis. I don't know a ton about all the disease. Like when something does have something going on with it, I look it up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't remedy that. Okay, whatever, get rid of it, throw it away, burn it, whatever. And then I just carry on. I kind of just like crisis management is what I call it. I'm not an encyclopedia of like all the diseases and pests and things that can happen in your flowers. So I will put up, once I research that enough so that you guys can know. But anyways, so that happened. And then some of the flowers got what they call flower blight, and they were discolored and not good. So, oh my gosh, you are so insane. Number 3 is dahlias or dahlias, however you want to pronounce them. And honestly, I didn't love all of the colors that I had. Things can be so deceiving in a magazine or online or something. Like, the colors can be so deceiving, but I did love the ones, like, there were some that I did love, but I had this one that was like a dinner plate purple one. I don't like dinner plate dahlias. Like, they just don't do it for me. I don't know why. I think the one I did love, my partner Mark, he got me these cafe au lait ones, just like 2 tubers. And I absolutely was obsessed with them. They're so beautiful. Okay, I love that. But you know what? Like, the first bloom was gorgeous, and then after that, it was like every bloom struggled. And so I don't know if that's just like, again, because I had those thrips and they were like really wreaking havoc on my flowers or what it was. But anyways, so like, I don't love the dinner plate. So the dinner plate, I do see their place, and I probably will fall in love with them once I understand growing dahlias a bit more. But because I'm so new at them, I have a lot to learn. But anyway, so the dahlias, they were really awesome when they started. They were like beautiful. And so I had lots of them, red ones and pink ones, and you know, these really light pink ones, pastel-y pink. And then I had these really deep burgundy ones. There was some yellow. Anyways, I had and they were so pretty. And so anyways, started off strong, had those. I was loving them. They kind of saved my butt. I had a wedding to do. They added some great pizzazz into these bouquets. I was pumped about that. And then those thrips came. And then it was like it was like almost July, because we had no rain and it was hot. So we started off cool and wet, and then hot and dry. And then after July, nights started to get cooler. Boom, all of a sudden the thrips weren't around as much, and all of a sudden my plants were looking great again. And I just think that hot heat can really wreak havoc on plants. So you gotta water lots. But anyway, so the dahlias, they were there for me when I needed them the most. And so in fact, I had 2 weddings to do this summer, and they really performed perfectly for both of those weddings. And anyway, so that was awesome. I really love the dahlias. So I actually have placed a $500 order of tubers from this place called Unicorn Blooms. They're out in BC. That's British Columbia and Canada. And you have to have, I think, a minimum of a $400 order to order from them. So yeah, I ordered a bunch of specialty dahlia tubers, and I'm really, really excited. I'm going to be really, really cautious about them, taking care of them. I did save some of my dahlia tubers from this year, but I didn't save the ones I didn't like. Like, I didn't save any of those dinner plate purple ones. Just not worth my time. Honestly, I don't want them. I saved pretty much the rest of them. Oh yeah, then there was this one called, they looked like, they almost looked like a water lily, and they were pink, like bright pink. I'm like, no thanks. I did not save those because I just didn't love the color of them. Just like neon pink, it's not my jam. So I didn't save those ones either. But yeah, so the dahlias were an awesome, pleasant surprise, and that was amazing. So yes, those are my number 3. My number 2 on my list is the zinnias. So yes, I had issues with my zinnias. It's interesting. So I was all hell bent. I went on a cruise, an Alaskan cruise in the springtime. And I was like, I need to get these flowers planted. I busted my butt to get these flowers in the ground because I thought, like, by the time I get back, it's going to be like the first week of June. And I'd love to get them planted like we left on our cruise on the 24th of May. So I wanted to get them planted before that. So, later part of May. Well, if we didn't have the craziest June ever, it rained and rained and rained and rained. And so consequently, I had the worst germination, slow germination, poor germination, no germination, you name it, on a lot of my plants. And so that shot me in the foot. I have put notes all over my notebooks of what to not to do. Do not plant too early, Krista. Don't get excited just because you feel like you should be out there. It's like, hold off, because I planted one set of zinnias in May. And then when I got back, I planted another set of zinnias. And do you know what? That second set of zinnias that I planted probably mid-June turned out to be so beautiful, so plentiful, so healthy, so amazing. And they outgrew the ones that I first planted. So that was a huge lesson learned for me. But nonetheless, they performed awesome. I didn't think you know, I didn't have enough zinnias because I was like, I want to try some new things that, you know, are more exciting. Well, I'm going to tell you guys something. Zinnias are like they are everyone's in their top 10 cut flowers for a reason, because they are awesome. They're beautiful. They come in gorgeous colors. They are such a classic. And so I had the Benary's Giant mix, which I do love my mixes because I like to have the variety of colors all throughout the season. So if you know, fall comes and I forgot to plant enough red ones, like if you're specific to like red, purple, blah, 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 all of a sudden you have purple ones that are blooming, like, you know, summery pastel purples that are blooming in, you know, August, September, but you actually want to have some more of those fall colors and tones and hues and stuff like that. That's what I like the mixes for, because you'll have a little bit of everything growing all season long. So if you need a yellow, well, then you're going to have some yellow. And if you need a peach colored one, you have some peach. But if you want a bride's, like my favorite color is like a really bright red, and boom, you've got some of those, but you can like accent, like I love the mixes, and you're never going to convince me otherwise. I do think there's a place for ordering specific colors. Absolutely. I'm definitely going to do that a bit this year. I'm going to order some specific colors of some things, because I do realize that some colors I love a lot more than other colors. Like I love light pastel-y pinks, but I do not love a bright neon hot pink. That's not my jam. So anyways, I will be doing some more selective stuff, but when it comes to being able to like options to be able to buy like a bulk bag of Zinnia Benary's Giant seeds, I'm all over that. And I think you should be too. It's a game changer. Saves your bouquet. But yeah, so the zinnias were great. My first crop was slow to grow, but then, and they didn't germinate very good. I had that Zinderella, the peach ones. I only got 100 seeds of those, and I don't know how many I planted. I noticed when I was doing this, I still had seeds left. So I must have had intentions of doing like a succession plant, but never succession planted them. I think I had 2 of those Zinderella peach colored ones. So I have ordered some plugs that are already started. Oh, maybe they're seed. No, I've ordered seed from the greenhouse. She's ordering me up some specialty zinnia seeds. Then I ordered plenty more of my own zinnia seeds. So I'm going to have lots of zinnias, lots of different varieties of them this year. I'm excited about that. So that'll be great. And they always are a classic. Everybody loves them. Everybody loves a zinnia. So pardon me. Last but not least, and you know, this is not everybody's favorite cut flower because they can be awkward to work with, but I've kind of figured out how to work with them. And it is the sunflowers. They were my number one performer, my number one like cut flower all summer long. I had so many different varieties of them that it started in the spring with like limoncello, the Pro Cuts. Those are bright yellow, very summery, vibrant sunflowers, and white ones and like cream colored ones. And so they're very summery and very fresh looking. And that's what my season started with. And then mid-season, I started to get into like those deep golden yellows. Pardon me. Oh, and then, you know, I had some of those. I had the Pro Cut plums in there. Those did not do as good for me this year. They just weren't as vibrant in color. I'll have to think about that, but I do love them. So then I had those, and then I had some nice like orangey colored ones. And then as September rolled around, because I had this other wedding that they asked me to do probably in June, so mid to late June, I did another huge planting of sunflowers to make sure that I had a ton of them. It wasn't a big wedding, but I just wanted to make sure that I had lots of them because people love sunflowers. And so anyways, then by the end of the season, I had these like the chocolat and the, what are the other ones? There was the Earth Walker ones. Love the orange color of those, but I don't know what it was about them, but they just always looked ratty tatty. You know what I'm saying? So it like, and they were with in like 20 rows of sunflowers. So, I mean, every other variety looked great. And then on the end was the Earthwalker ones. And they always just looked like disheveled and like the petals would be ripped and like malformed. So I don't know if that's just like because of the variety of them, but there wasn't a whole big bunch of them that I could use. Like, I mean, out of the amount that I planted, I should have gotten way more out of them, but anyway, whatever. I had so many sunflowers and so many different varieties of them. I just loved it. And I loved going out into the garden and just walking through all these sunflowers. Oh, if I could be in that right now. Just, it was so like incredible for me. You guys have no idea. Which that kind of will bring me to a whole other episode of like the direction of the flower farm and where it's going to go, but that's going to come in the new year. Anyway, so then sunflowers were my absolute number one. I had probably 10 different varieties of them, and I plan to grow like just as many this year. They make me so happy. I absolutely love them. And so amazing. And I'll be looking through lots and researching lots to find as many cool varieties as I can. The Pro Cut ones are really awesome because they are pollenless. So when you have a sunflower that you grow in your garden and you cut it and you bring it inside, it's always going to drop all this like pollen. If you get the Pro Cut varieties, they do not do that. So I know somebody at a market or no, I just sold the flowers down the salon except for one market I did, but their kids came in to buy flowers for the mom, and the mom sent them with the message like, make sure no sunflowers because of that pollen that drops. And I was like, wow, just so you know, I've got these amazing ones. But yeah, so anyways, that is my top 5. Now there's other ones that I had that were really fabulous, like my snapdragons. I was like, I'm not going to grow lots of snapdragons. Well, my snapdragons were unbelievable. They grew fabulously. Lysianthus, I grew quite a few of those this year. They did great this year too. But just for my top 5, because I could go on and on and on about all the unreal flowers that grew, but these were like the ones that really like my core flowers that I was like, I need more of these. And you know, that's kind of the thing. This was my 3rd year growing. So now it's like really reining me into like what I want and what I don't want. And so I've said lots before that I love the look of a wildflower bouquet, and I do. And there's some specific flowers that make a bouquet look like that. Your baby's breath, your bachelor's buttons, your salvia, your veronica, your what else did I have in there that are kind of quite the saponaria, the phacilias. Those are some of the flowers that really make a bouquet look wildflowery. They're small, they're delicate, they're beautiful, and they're dainty looking. The problem with those is that it takes a lot of those stems to make a wildflower bouquet look wildflower. And that's what I learned this year. So I have some pleasant surprises that I wanted to duly note in this video, since they're on the things that the top performers. Yeah, so my number 5 of top number 5 is the Phacelia. Phacelia is, I was reading a bit about it. It's used sometimes as a cover crop. It's a super pollinator. It is awesome. It comes up early. It's gorgeous purple flowers that look really cool. The thing that I did wrong this year is that I planted big chunks of them, and then all of them were ready at once. And then once they start to bloom, it doesn't take long before they are going to seed. You can just see the freaking bees swarm in there and just like take over. And which is great, and that's fabulous. We want them everywhere. But okay, so I think I will grow them again. But I did learn, like, maybe plant one row, and then next week plant another row, and then next week plant another row. So you really have to be on the ball with it, This year I did tons of succession planting. So even though the Phacelia was like my first batch that I planted was like, boom, there it is. I was like, whoa, okay. I quickly understood that the next time I planted, so then I did end up planting one more patch of them, but it was a little bit later in the season. So I knew I was just going to plant all like the other patch of them and then just have them and use them in my bouquets, which they worked out fine. But I think going forward, I would plant like maybe 1 or 2 rows, 1 or 2 rows, 1 or 2 rows, and do that kind of as the summer goes along. So you have to be on the ball and very, you have to plan space accordingly. So that's a whole other thing too. So then my number 4 is the saponaria, or also known as soapwort. It almost has the look of a little bit like baby's breath, but it's not. It has like, yeah, the flowers are really, really pretty, and they kind of look like a little bit of a lantern, and then they have these beautiful blooms come out. And I had pink ones, light pink ones, gorgeous. They just softened up a bouquet so much, and they just added that whimsical wildflower look to them. They were so pretty. Again, same thing, because these are new to me. I've never grown either one of those before. Again, same thing. I grew one patch and I just like had this patch grow, and I was like, holy. So they bloom all at once. They die back all at once. Easy to save the seed from them. I did save some seed, but then I realized I still had lots from last year, but still easy to save the seed. And yeah, I didn't plant a second plant in them because I didn't have a spot available or time to work up a spot. So yeah, so I just planted that one set of them, and then they self-seeded a bit, and I did have a few more, but nothing to really write home about. Those were amazing, and I'm for sure going to grow more of those. I noticed I was looking online, I can get them in white or pink. I'm wondering if I look at other sites, if I can find them in any other color. I'm not sure. I didn't look too much further than William Dam Seed Company, which is where I get a lot of my seeds from here in Canada. Because they have a huge selection. So my number 3, that was a pleasant surprise this year for me, was also the baby's breath. I got this market variety of them, it's called. And they actually grew decently. I did learn you cannot plant baby's breath too close together, though they're tiny little seeds and you think you want to just like jam them in there. If they have a bit more space, they grow awesome. They get these tall stems, fairly sturdy. And I had baby's breath all summer because I succession planted them 3 times, and they were glorious. Although like sometimes I missed a week or 2 because they were still not quite tall enough. But baby's breath was a good one for me this year. And I just love the like look of it, like with the right flowers. I feel like this little bouquet that I made here, or this bunch, it just looked, I don't know if it reminds me too much of, I don't know, something I don't love about it, but I love all fresh flowers, so I'm not complaining. I absolutely love these carnations. But yeah, and these, it's all good, but I'm just like, okay, maybe I didn't need the baby's breath in there, or maybe I just needed less of something, like maybe it's these alströmerias or something. But anyway, doesn't matter. Baby's breath is on my list for sure, because it totally gives that wildflower vibe. Okay, number 2, that was a pleasant surprise, scabiosa. I never ever grew scabiosa before. That stuff grows insane. Wow. I was so, like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, man, this stuff is crazy. But also, you have to catch it at the right time. You have to cut it at the right time. It needs to be staked up. I had no idea these were going to grow into these like bushes. And then all of a sudden they were so big on the top. They're just like, pfft. As soon as we got one big wind, it's like, oh, they fell over. That was past the point of me even being there. Like, I was just like too far gone into the garden season to even think about like trying to stake them up at that point. So note to self, scabiosa, if you're growing it, stake it up, because I think you'll have better success and better, like stems will be straighter, I think, if you do that. Because I found as soon as mine tipped over a little bit, it was like this, and then they're growing up like that. So then the stems would be curved, which made them not usable. I mean, for something for myself, absolutely, I can use it, but there's that problem. So scabiosa, I had the Fata Morgana, the dark burgundy one, and the white one. I can't remember what those ones were called. Something, I can't remember. Then I just ordered the Fama Blue, I think is what it's called. Or, yeah. I got those from William Dam already. I'm super pumped to grow the scabiosa again because that has, or pincushion flower, some people refer to it as that. That has a bit of that wildflower feel to it. They're cool little flowers and very unique. Not everybody's seen them, so they make for some interesting bouquets and people are into them. Everybody is like, what is that, Krista? And I was like, well, let me tell you about that. But it was my first year growing, so I'm not a pro at it, but I've learned a lot. So I will be, I've already added it to the roster for next year, so that was great. My number one pleasant surprise that I finally could actually grow some, but I just don't know if I'm going to be able to grow. I saved my corms, but the ranuncs. Ranunculus are awesome. They're so beautiful and they are cool. They're a cool season flower and they don't like it too hot. And we kind of go where I grow the garden. It's like we have a cool season for a month. Now, if I had maybe a hoop house or something where I could start these off earlier, that might be okay. But our ground freezes, or our ground's frozen and then it's muddy and it thaws and then, or it thaws and it's muddy. And then it's like, we have 1 month or a few weeks of spring and then it almost seems like, boom, we're into summer. And so I did grow ranunculus and they grew really nicely, not super, super long stems. I don't know why that is, but like definitely I could see, I'm like, okay, I'm growing them. And I actually was able to use some in one of the weddings that I did. So I was really, really happy about that. So that's cool. But like the problem is that I don't have a ton of spring flowers. So it's like, if I just grow ranunculus, I'm not going to be selling just bouquets of ranunculus. I just don't know if they really work for me, but I did save my corms from this past year and I'm going to try them again and just try them out just for fun to have them. But I just don't know if they're going to be like something that it's like not a hill that I have to die on. I don't think at this point, just not quite yet. I'm just maybe not set up enough for them, but I do want to keep trying them because I've only been successful this 1 year. And so whatever, but my last, and I didn't have this would have been number 6, but this is just like a greenery pleasant surprise. And this is going to finish up my list because I've babbled on for long enough, is tomatillo plants. And I think mentioned this, if not made a whole entire video on it, but I had all these tomatillo plants that I grew last year because not only do I grow cut flowers, I have a massive garden that you guys would probably be able to know if you've watched any of my videos. Speaking of that, I'm just going to put in here quickly right now, but if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, you should do that because then if you subscribe, you get updated when I upload a new video. I do kind of a little bit of everything. I'm not like, I don't have the one niche thing that I do. It's just, I love a simple life. I'm a grower. I'm a hairstylist by trade, but I am on the farm part-time and I shared that with everybody. So if you haven't hit subscribe, please do so because then you will get updated when I have a new video pop up. And that would be awesome and helpful. And if you guys like the video, be sure to give it a like. But anyways, back to the tomatillo plant. I grew tomatillos 2 summers ago. And then at the end of the season, whatever was there just fell to the ground. I was like, whatever, they'll just like compost back in. I honestly thought they would have frozen. The seeds would have died because they would have froze so hard. No. Oh no. I had tomatillo plants growing everywhere. They were out of control. So much so that I think like part of the reason I had some issues with germination was because these tomatillo plants were so crazy. But regardless of that, they made phenomenal greenery, you guys. So the tomatillo plant is, tomatillos are like the Spanish type tomato. They're delicious. You make green salsa with them. It's unreal. The greenery is fabulous. It has a great vase life. They get these like nice, thick, girthy stems, which are great. They have great water uptake. And the leaves on them are similar to a tomato, but a little bit different. And, you get them they can grow tall and you get them at the right height. They're gorgeous. I 100% think everyone should use veggies or fruit, whatever you want to call it. Any of that in your bouquets if you can. If they have good vase life, why the heck not? So that, you guys, the tomatillos saved my butt as well. Honestly, I don't know. I want to find like more greenery options. I'm getting there. I'm working on my way, but it's like I need to have a heavy arsenal of them because that's what I love. Like, I love all this green foliage stuff. Like, you know, in this one, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like lots of green like leaves. I left a lot of that on because I just love it so much. So I think that's great. And everyone's like, well, it's a lot of filler. But I also think like when you get too many flowers, like this to me is maybe too many flowers. It can just look, I don't know, it just can be too much. And everybody has their own personal preference. 100% I know, but I like the greenery in there. So I'm on the mission for different greeneries and tomatillos 100%. So I'm going to grow, if you could imagine, after having my explosion, which I'll probably have a few more explosions of them because I can't imagine those seeds are totally gone. But I'm going to intentionally plant some tomatillos just to be able to use them as greenery. So that was another pleasant surprise. So you guys, that's a lot of information for one video. Hopefully you're not too overwhelmed, but if you have any questions about anything that I listed on here, by all means, ask away. I wish I had, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I took all this footage this summer and then I transferred my stuff over to a new phone, and not all my pictures, my videos, they did not transfer over. I was like so bummed out. I don't know why that happened. I have somebody that's offered to help me look and see if I can find them, but it was like, I cannot find an old iCloud backup, and I guess it just didn't transfer over all my data. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not happen. But anyways, I brought it home to do it because they're like, well, it could take 2 hours. Well, I didn't want to sit 2 hours in the city. And so I lost all that, which I'm over it now. I think I'm like, okay, well, whatever. It is what it is. And I have to be better prepared next year to, like, I have this external hard drive that I'm going to, on my Mac, I'm going to periodically update everything onto there so I don't run into this again. But anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section. Honestly, that was my 3rd season growing flowers for cut to sell. And I don't know everything, but I am starting to learn a lot, you guys. And it's been tons of fun. And I really, 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 really love the flowers. They are such a source of joy for me. And I know I say that all the time, but really, like, I had no idea how happy the flowers would make me. I felt a little bit stressed out this year with the 25 subscriptions plus bringing back flowers every week in between to sell, plus the weddings that I did, plus. I did feel a little bit overwhelmed. And when I get overwhelmed, I just get like, I get in the mode of like, I just got to get shit done. And then it just kind of takes away from the fun of it. So I have to reevaluate how I was running things last year. I'm for sure growing flowers. You can see I've got tons of seeds, like more seeds than you even know what to do with. I will be growing flowers. How it's all going to look is going to probably look a little bit different. I have some ideas in my head and I'm very excited about them. But I'm not going to make a solid plan until the new year because I just want to give myself a little bit of grace and to not make any impulsive decisions because I was exhausted by the end of the summer. So that is going to do it for me, you guys. I hope you like the video of my top flowers of 2024. I will be doing a follow-up video of my top poor flowers, my least successful flowers of 2024. That's going to be coming up. And then I will be doing a veggie one as well. And we can talk a bit about that. But yeah, that's where we're at, you guys. I hope you liked the video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe because then, like I said before, you will get notified when a new video comes up. I try to put up 1 video a week. I haven't gotten consistent enough to make it on the same day, but I at least try to do 1 video a week or 1 video every 2 weeks, depending on what is happening. So check it out, you guys. Give me a subscribe and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. We'll talk later and thank you guys for watching.